Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome into Mid Morning. Mr. Scott Ferguson is joining me in studio with Financial Concepts. And guys, look, wedding bells are ringing this time of year. Everyone's getting married, I feel like. But an important thing to also discuss before you get married is your finances. So, Mr. Scott, we should get a lot of things in order before that, but you said this is one of the most important.
Well, look, things that folks fight about in marriage, number one, is money.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that you've got a good understanding and have that ironed out on the get-go.
Okay.
Before you say I do, you want to have that money talk.
Okay, so what are the things that we need to discuss and consider before we get married?
Well, first of all, I think you've absolutely got to discuss, what does income look like for each of you, right? You got to be upfront. Let's talk about income. Let's talk about what debt that we have. Let's talk about, and it may not be talking about it because you can probably see from your partner, but what are their spending habits? Are they a big spender?
Okay.
Are you both big spenders? Are you both savers? What type of relationship do you have with money individually? Okay. So then you can look at it as you come together. What kind of relationship are we going to have, right? And if we're both spenders, well, then we're going to have to really have a plan in place to make sure that we're not spending everything, that we are setting some aside for a rainy day and for the future. That's when a plan is really going to be critical.
Okay, so what about red flags? Is there one in particular that's a red flag? We need to definitely look at this, take off those rose-colored sunglasses.
Well, if somebody won't talk about what their finances look like, to me, that's a huge red flag. Or if someone says that they're going to do one thing financially and then you find out they're doing something else, that's a pretty big red flag, right? But if someone won't talk about it, why are they not talking about it, right? And sometimes it could be maybe they're ashamed of some debt that they've got, that they just don't want to bring that and have you carry that weight with them.
Okay.
But they still need to talk about it. You want to get that out there because in a relationship, it's got to be 100%, right? Everybody's got to know everything. So you've got to make sure you're talking about the skeletons in the closet so you can figure out together how you're going to make those skeletons go away.
And then I want to make this clear for our viewers. We're not saying that you should get married and you shouldn't have any debt, because in our world today, it's very common.
Oh, absolutely. Number one, most of us when we go to school, we're going to have debt coming out of school. And let's face it, the world today costs more to live in than it ever has before.
Yes.
It's expensive to live. So odds are you're going to have a car payment. You're going to have some kind of payment that's out there, and that's okay. But you just want to make sure that you're up front and saying, I've got all of this.
Okay.
Not 2 weeks after the honeymoon, mail starts coming in and your spouse finds out that we've got, $50,000 on a credit card.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big surprise fresh out of the gate.
Okay, so what do you suggest? Maybe combining or keeping separate, or is there really a right answer? I
don't think there's a right or a wrong as far as like checking accounts and combining. A lot of folks will say you got to do it one way or the other. I want you to find the way that works for you and your relationship.
Perfect.
We're all each different and unique. My wife and I have separate checking accounts.
Okay.
We've got a household account where all the bills go, and then we've got our spending money where she can go spend what she wants to spend.
Okay.
Maybe go to Ulta, or maybe I want to go to the sporting goods store.
Yes.
Wherever it is, we can spend it. We don't have to worry about, I can't believe you spent so much XYZ. Well, that was your fun money for the week or every 2 weeks, however you break it up.
Okay, so one thing that I also think is important, you're spending money. As a spouse, should we be judging on the spending amount, I guess?
Not if it's agreed upon. If we've got money that we've set aside and saying, hey, this is your spending money or your fun money, as you want to call it, for this week or this month, go spend it how you want to.
Okay.
Now remember, if you go spend it all and there's none left, and the other spouse has some left over, well, you don't want to judge them and say, well, how come you have some? Can I have some of yours? Right? That's not fair.
Yeah.
I think if you line out what it's going to be from the get-go, and you stick to it, I think you'll be in good shape.
And then for those couples that maybe have that one joint account, what are some things, or maybe if I'm using my spouse's money, maybe some considerations I should think about before using their money?
Number one, you want to make sure that you know kind of what's coming out, right? Because if there's money in the checking account and then you swipe that debit card, but the house payment's going to come out tomorrow, that can impact it, right? So you've got to really have that communication of when things are coming out, what's due, how much do we need to keep in here to make this thing stay afloat.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Scott, these are all great tips right there. You guys can go see him if you need any financial advice. Y'all will be right back after the break.